Get Into Gate. This is episode 129. We're talking Stargate SG-13 veteran fans, one newbie to the show. That boy's name is Rhys. How are you, Rhys?
Hey, Rhys.
Sensational.
My name's Mitch, and we got Brendan
How
and
are you,
Maddie.
mate?
Us all
G'day, buddy.
hardcore, long-term Stargate fans. We're all here, the full Get Into Gate team. Let's do what we do each and every week. Let's go back to the old synopsis of the episode, see what it's about. We're going to throw it over to our first-timer, Rhys, and see what he thought. Exploring an off-world planet, SG-1 discovers a crashed ship and 3 human survivors who claim to be under constant attack by hostile aliens. While Carter helps repair the ship's computer, she learns that the survivors are hiding a secret and things may not be all that they seem, which is the way you could describe most episodes.
Hey, Mitch. I think this is the first DVD cover that doesn't have the writer and director on it.
What is going on? Like at the end?
Disc 5 in season 6 doesn't have written and direction
Holy shit, you're right.
on the synopsis.
Is it because it's got 2 discs in it, so there's 6 episodes rather than 4? There's just not enough space.
Yeah.
But every season's had that.
Yeah, I know. And that's where I get my information on. So I don't even know who wrote this, guys.
Wow.
Catherine Powers,
it was,
obviously.
Yeah,
it was
Catherine
written
Powers
by
and-
Damien Kindler and directed by...
Oh, Damo wrote
I
it.
was going to say, don't say anything, because if something's wrong in the episode, we can just blame it on Cooper.
Oh, okay, race
That's all
that
right,
part.
we
Still
Yeah.
can.
I can cross off half my notes now.
I have...
Directed by Annie Makita.
I have 3 words here. First things I wrote down. Rhys.
Worst episode.
Braveheart. How hard were you?
Look, I got a little bit of a tickle in the balls for that one, but 0 hards.
Oh,
to be
really?
honest.
What?
I mean, your favourite
Like
character,
0.
referencing your favourite movie.
Not even a bit firm.
Well, it was Jack who said it. But he's like, you've been watching too much Braveheart too often.
Yeah, like
It's
Teal
like,
Club Braveheart.
Classic
Oh,
Braveheart.
that's true. He did need Teal'c to just like give a little quote from the movie. That would have been 10 hards, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
What about my one in Threshold where I did a whole bloody audio grab for you?
Don't remember it.
Bloody hell.
Don't remember
Well, we
it.
got copyrighted on YouTube,
he's
so we're not getting any income for that.
He's already drunk that memory
Already,
away. That memory's in the bottom of a can of Bundy by now.
Yeah,
Oh, at least.
big time.
I
Bundy?
mean,
You been Bundy drinking?
Nah, I spent one night on that and, a few windows smashed, but
Angry juice.
let's move on.
Everyone else has done the same, mate. Been there. What'd you think of this one, Rhys?
Yeah, look, I did like this one. Obviously, brought up a few questions throughout, and you didn't know who to trust or who were the good guys, who were the bad guys. I liked it. And then a really good twist at the end where it was like, it was a prisoner ship.
The giveaway for me is the guy that played Aidan Corso. He's an actor named Martin Cummings. He always plays the bad guy. He was the bad guy in Jessica Alba's show Dark Angel.
I knew him from somewhere.
He's the bad guy in Kyle XY.
Keep coming with something else.
Oh, that
What
was...
else? What else is it?
he's the sheriff in Riverdale on the CW at the moment.
Keep coming.
If you're
He
into
actually
that.
did. You know what? Speaking
I've
of
seen him in
Riverdale,
something. It must
when
have
I
been
saw
this.
him in this, and I thought this probably would have been a good cameo for Luke Perry to be. Like he had a bit of Luke Perry about him.
Steve Perry.
What Luke Perry probably would have looked like 15 years ago.
Yeah, you're right.
And that's strange.
Now he's dead.
That's true.
How can he cameo if he's dead?
That's true.
Now, here's a little bit of some fun, incestuous
Oh, yes, please.
Yes,
Sci-fi
I love incest.
Bring it
crossover.
in. Bring it on.
Okay, so Martin Cummins was...
Oh, don't say Cummins.
You can't say that.
his
Like
last
we're not even
name,
5
guys.
minutes in.
It's his last name, guys. It's his last name.
Oh,
what she
right. I
said.
thought you were telling us what he was doing.
Speaking of Woody Cummins, his wife, he was...
That's her name, Waddy Cummins.
No, his...
She's Indian.
What he Cummins?
it'd be Cummins if she was...
Yes, buddy.
Sorry.
So many steps.
I've been watching a lot of MasterChef at the moment, and there's this amazing contestant on there, and bless her heart, she's from Vietnam. You know, MasterChef, they say, "Oh, this is my dish. This is my dish. This whole dish is about this. This dish is about."
Yeah. Cummins' own dressing, if you know what I mean.
She says this, so like my dish is about this, and my dish has got this in it, and she can't say dish, the poor thing, and I absolutely love her for it.
Oh, great.
Anyway,
Doesn't
let's
know
just
what an H
rewind
is.
all that. So, Martin, who plays Aidan Corso this episode, was at one point, while he was filming this episode, married to an actress named Brandy Ledford, who does actually appear in Stargate in later seasons as a Goa'uld. However, she was in season 5 of Andromeda, the Kevin Sorbo show,
Keep coming.
where she
What else is she in?
no.
Why?
This is the whole thing. Wait for it. So she was in that, and she replaced Lexa Doig,
Yeah.
Michael Shanks's wife, because
Yeah.
Michael Shanks's wife had to take that season off because she was pregnant with Michael Shanks's baby.
Rosemary.
Oh, no, sorry, wrong thing.
Oh, that was
yeah.
pretty good.
I'm okay with that. I would have been okay for you to keep
That's
rolling.
very,
that.
yeah.
So I just love all that intertangled, incestuous
Yeah.
stuff.
It is really like that in the sci-fi worlds, right?
I love the Kevin Bacony gameness of it.
Or Kevin Sorbo.
I like how Carter says they have space capability more advanced than ours. It's like, how can they be more advanced than Prometheus? They don't even have hyperspace.
Neither do we, really.
Well, we kind of do.
We get hyperspace that doesn't work.
Well, don't forget Thor gave us some sweet shields and
That's
guns
true.
last week.
Yeah, well, see, he said that, but it's a while before we see him. But the
Well,
Cerberus...
coming, like
Yeah.
it's,
Don't ruin it for Rhys.
Don't
God's
say,
sake.
Don't say coming, Mitch.
that's right. Sorry, they were
Yeah.
coming.
Cumin.
Cumin.
Human. I was getting there.
But the Cerberus that have hyperspace. Otherwise, how do they get to this planet?
Well, they were all in
What's
deep-
Cerberus?
That was the ship.
Oh, that was
ship.
their ship, right?
Well, if they're
Write
in
that down, that'll be a
hyperspace, how
question.
did they get knocked into by an asteroid?
Well, they don't have to be at hyperspace all the time, mate.
Well, why weren't they?
I didn't f***ing write it.
Exactly. So they have to stop. So how's that more advanced? I just don't buy it, Matty.
we have to
I don't
stop.
buy it that these guys crashed on a planet for 3 years.
Okay, so
can't
when-
even figure out the Stargate.
Okay, well, when the Prometheus
It's
was
not.
parked
All they had to do is
underground
put in
in
7
Texas,
symbols. 3 years.
Why wasn't it at hyperspace when it was parked underneath?
They just can't be more advanced, is what I'm saying. They
Well,
can't
they
even
are.
figure out the Stargate. There's no
Mate, they have
continental
How so?
drift.
Tell us how they're more advanced.
They have working starships that travel between the stars.
So do we.
They have working. I said working.
Prometheus
And they have
works.
particle.
seen it.
They have particle weapons.
Oh, they're
So do
overrated,
we.
mate.
No, we don't.
Have they ever
they were
beat a
stolen.
Jafar contingent with green little fuzzy guns? Don't think so.
What?
How did they didn't even figure out the Stargate? They have a working DHD.
No.
There's no stellar drift to worry about, so they could go anywhere in the system.
But their planet.
don't have a
Their
Stargate,
planet
but-
never had a Stargate.
the planet that they were stuck on for 3 years.
Yeah.
That we're
Yeah.
on now has
Okay,
a Stargate.
we had a Stargate for 50 years
but
before
we didn't have a
figured it out.
DHD.
Yes, we did.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, it was down in Antarctica.
What are you talking about?
There was a DHD down in Antarctica just because it wasn't with the
He's
Giza
trying
Gate.
to win the argument on technicalities, mate.
No, we didn't have a working DHD. That's why it was stellar drift. We couldn't make a lock. But these guys didn't have that excuse. Start pressing some
Cool, what's
buttons,
that
mate,
called?
if you're so advanced.
They're fucking
hell.
prisoners, guys.
Not advanced in my book.
God, you'd swear this was written by Robert Cooper the way you were going.
I thought it was. That was part of my notes, so
Oh,
can
right.
cross that off.
Okay.
You know,
We'll
strange.
see everybody next week then.
More than any other episode up until this point where we interact with humans that, long ago were, part of Earth or whatever and taken away and they've went and become their own thing, advanced in their own ways. I don't know why this episode in particular, it was some word that Aiden said, and I'm like, oh, that's very particular language. I cannot remember for the life of me what it was, but it just made me think, and I'm like, well, why would you be using that word to describe that thing?
Yeah, he
The
said
same way-
years. He said for a certain amount of years.
Yeah, maybe something as small as that. And I just remember thinking, like, if your civilization left Earth thousands of years ago, when that word might not have been a thing, how have you come to call it that? Now you just go, hey, it's sci-fi or it's just a TV
Go with it,
show.
mate, yeah.
Just go with it. But I'm like, well, we're all based off the same. I don't know why I thought about it in this episode rather than 100 before it, but
3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago when we had the Russian team and then the alien came from Kellogg's All-Brain came.
Yeah.
He spoke better English than the Russians.
yeah.
So that threw me more
Yeah.
than anything.
But I don't know. It was something to do with like the fact that they're all based our language and their language because we all came from the same place at the same time. They went off to another planet as slaves.
Yeah.
We've stayed on Earth. Our languages would have developed one word, would have created another, which spun off another, the same way that it obviously did on their planet. Technology's advanced differently based on the resources and all those sort of things.
Yeah.
But I don't know. For some reason, I just thought about it in this episode more than any other, and it kind of helps explain.
And that's
why.
one thing that-
there was a plot point where they say it's like, okay, well, on Earth we had that ship that carried prisoners. It was called the Cerberus, and this ship was called the Cerberus, and it turned out to be a prison transport ship. So
Yeah.
I just
they
feel
do
like
make a point of-
that's one thing that Stargate as a series never ever touched upon, and it's something that all the fans are like, And I guess we're not going to ever find out
Yeah.
why.
Just the fact they're all
why
white
we
and they speak
understand
English.
each other.
Yeah.
You know, I always
Yeah.
assumed in my own mind, the DHD does it, or the Stargate does some translation shit. I don't care.
Yeah,
That'll do.
It's a classic sci-fi thing. Same thing in Star Trek, where it's like they've got their universal communicator.
Yeah, but-
which translated,
but
their
they've addressed it.
Their lips are still speaking English though, not
Yeah.
speaking. So it's little things like that.
That doesn't
Or
bother me.
in-
They address that. Like, if Farscape, they will have the translator microbes as well. Like, they just
Yeah,
never
that's
touch
cool.
on it at all.
Yeah,
And just on that, like in Star Wars, I think they call it galactic basic. Is what they call
Yeah,
it. Is
that's
what
right.
English is.
Yeah.
It's the basic
Yeah,
language
right,
across every
okay.
planet, but different species have their own native tongues and all that sort of thing. So yeah, no, it's weird they don't touch on it. For some reason it hit me something with Aiden said in this. I don't know. Yeah.
the weirdest thing. Well, there's a couple of weird things in this one. For me, the opening scene where Jack, when we first see him in the very, very first episode, he's on the roof of his house with a telescope.
Yeah, right.
And then by this episode, he doesn't know how a telescope works.
Yeah.
And knows that you can't see what they're looking for during the day.
Yeah.
And it's like, I get it because it was for the joke. It was just for a bit of a gag. But I was just
Classic
like,
Kindler.
and then the other thing that bugged me was right at the end when, like Warwick talks about how he's been stuck on this planet trying to get his ship back for 3 years or whatever it is, but he can't because of the sonic, defense shield or whatever.
So isn't
But
that
it's like
your
Jack
technology?
shows up, and it's that to me that makes sense because it's like, well, when you're inside the ship, it's not supposed to hurt you as much. So it's like,
Right.
if it's his species, then it's a defense thing designed to repel his own species.
Yeah.
But the problem I had is like, Jack shows up and suddenly he can just grin and bear it and run through the sonic device to get inside the
Yeah.
ship and turn it
Yeah.
off. And it's like, to me, it would have made more sense because at the start there was that amazing like vertigo zoom when you first see Warwick reacting to the sonic device.
Yeah, you're like,
where
oh
they
shit, it's fucking him
push
up
in and
real
and,
hard.
and rack
And
focus
zoom
at the
out
same
something, yeah.
time.
Yeah, dolly in and zoom out.
So it's like they give you the impression that it's hurting those guys much more than it's hurting a human.
Yeah.
But then he's the one to go and turn it off, and it's like, to me, it
Yeah.
would have made more sense if
If
Teal'c
Jack
was the
or
one that
Teal'c.
had gone through, or Sam, or
Teal'c
someone
could,
like
could have
that.
done something this episode.
Right?
I mean, he did sense them.
Yeah, they're around. That was kind of good. Like everyone walks away, he's like, "What is it?" He goes, "I don't know," or something, and I'm just like,
Something
"Yeah,
new,
man, you're
yeah.
onto it." But then it was right. Like he could have went just full animalistic at that point and just completely disappeared in the bush until.
Yeah, I would have loved to see him just murder that Pender guy, the navigator.
Oh, didn't
That
he
was
have
just
some
mental.
terrible one-liners?
Oh, the blonde dude.
Yeah, where they all run
yeah.
away, and then he's like, "Told you,
Told you. What does that mean? What are you talking about?
told you they were, told you."
Told you they would. Yeah.
What
There
I
was
thought
one after that too. It was like, "What are you
Yeah.
on?"
And there would have been some, like, if SG-1 had done their research, when we first meet Corso and we think that he's the good guy, he's like, oh, yeah, those animals killed 5 of my crew and they're strung up in a tree somewhere.
Mm.
Well, that would have been Warwick's crew, so they all would have been the same alien as him.
Yeah,
So it's like if they'd gone and had a look, they would have seen that they were those aliens and not humans. Because Warwick points out that originally it was a crew of 8 guarding 3 prisoners. And those prisoners, who weren't really that intimidating, managed to take out
yeah, but don't
5 or 6 other of Warwick's crew.
forget that the guy who made the Mayday call on the screen was Caucasian.
Oh, he was, wasn't he? I
And then-
totally forgot about that.
And then later, Warwick says, like, we rescued their people 1,000 years ago from the Goa'uld. So they're all living in
yeah,
a
they are
utopian
living.
Together.
society
Combined.
together. These 3 are just
Yeah.
prisoners.
Although it is weird that, yeah, you're right, because that human guy making the Mayday, but then they say Warwick was the captain. It was his
Yeah.
ship and he was the captain. So
Yeah,
why
that's
would
true.
why would that human guy
He was
be the
probably
one
the
making the
navigator
Mayday?
or the communications guy.
could be.
Yeah.
But then, they didn't know, because when he said, yeah, they've taken 5 of my crew and strung them up, skinned them alive, whatever, I thought, what wasn't the whole thing like Warwick and his guys were made out to be the inhabitants of that land or that world?
Yeah.
And then the
Oh,
humans
yeah.
he made out that the humans were just in a ship together. Humans crashed there and now they're stuck, and these indigenous
Yeah,
beings are just
stole their weapons. And,
trying to kill him.
yeah.
That's what I assumed. And then, but yeah, when he said, "Oh, they hung up 5 of my crew," I'd be like, "You'd go out and search for them, like,
Right.
see where, just to see if he's telling the truth. Go out and see where they're where they're strung up somewhere.
Yeah, given that everyone's spidey sense was kind of tingling from the start.
Yeah.
Are they on the level or not? Yeah, that's a very good point. Very good point.
And they were kind of feeding like Aiden when he was in the ship with Carter, and she like just little bits and pieces that he would. It was like he was telling her, "Hey, things aren't always the same. I'm kind of the bad guy here, or whatever." And she would say things like, "Oh, I bet they can't wait to see you back on home." He's like, "Probably not." And I just wanted her to turn around and go, "Oh, why is that?" And he's like, "Oh, nothing, no reason." It's like, why would you say that?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you just go, man, can't wait to see my mum, and just get the ship fixed and off, like rather than go, "Hey, I've got a secret. What is it? Not telling. Don't have one."
There was
not a prisoner.
There was one.
Definitely not.
Definitely not a prisoner.
That's what you're wondering.
There was one good bit of writing though that did make me cross out one of my notes, because earlier on when we meet these people and tell them the Stargate is a transportation device, and then Aiden's like, no, we'll stay. Take the chick and we'll stay. And I was like, why wouldn't he just want to get the fuck off the planet? Like, that makes no sense. Why would he just want to get away?
True.
And then later on they do write it that no, he wants the ship so he can get back to Hebridean and get his stash of all his goodies and stuff. Like, he's got like big stash of wealth and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the whole reason he wanted to get
I didn't know.
back.
I missed that bit.
Yeah, I
don't
missed
think
it the first time.
I think that I only heard it when she goes, "Forget the stash we've got there. Where I've got
okay.
this.
I got a whole list of-
Stargate, blah blah blah."
Yeah.
Yeah,
we can
after
go
she'd
and
been
find-
played by Jonas.
Which I didn't get Jonas and Hammond's plan. Like, why did they set up all that treasure on Jonas's desk?
To see if she'd take it. It was like entrapment.
Yeah, but how did they know that she was the thief? Like,
Because they said that it was the console in the infirmary where she was the only person there.
yeah, she's just trying to
that
get
got
into a
hacked.
computer, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
to get gate addresses, like to steal gate addresses. So
Steal information.
this was their master plan, is to see if she was going to actually steal stuff. And I think, there was
I don't know.
there was that
Yeah.
one little line that kind of brought it back at the end when Jonas references that Cerberus and Cerberus, and he did the whole historical connection to the Cerberus
it's a
being
prison ship.
as a prison
Yeah,
ship.
right, okay.
Yeah, there's a lot. It was-
Although in that scene though, where Jonas says, "There is a ship called the Cerberus," and then Hammond's like, "What does that mean?" He goes, "I don't know." Anyway, General,
Yeah.
I have an idea.
yeah,
So it wasn't like,
it's kind of like
did
what
you know or not?
It's kind of like what Rhys was saying last season he didn't like, in the way that we find out some mysterious Goa'uld is doing all these things episode after episode after episode after episode, and then finally at the end of the season we find out that it's Anubis. And
Yeah.
Rhys was like, I'd rather find out who Anubis is at the start to then know all those things that he's doing. So I think this
Yeah.
episode was kind of like that. You kind of have to take these little sort of trinkets on your way through of knowledge, and then it all makes sense at the end. So it is definitely one that needs sort of repeat viewing to really kind of get into the nitty-gritty of it all. But I don't mind it. All in all, I don't mind it. I think it is...
It's the best one we've had for a while, I think.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Although, Disclosure was great.
there is
say.
a sequel to it next season, I want to say, that I feel is very polarizing between
Yeah,
fans.
I don't
Some
like
people
it.
love it. I really enjoy it. But I know there's a lot of people out there who don't enjoy it.
Emancipation 2, guys.
Beauty.
Can't wait. Was it just me, or do those creatures look a bit like Unas?
Just you, mate.
Okay, cool.
Like a smooth
Moving on.
Unas. Just take all the horns
That's
off
what I
of
thought,
Unas.
yeah.
Hot Unis.
A sexy
Yeah.
Unas.
Yeah.
Like a chocolate
And
Unas.
give him a
Sexy.
closed side eye like that dude from Metamorphosis had a couple of weeks ago. Just chuck a couple of those on the side.
They should do that more often, although it'd just look weird, wouldn't it? Because it wouldn't move.
Speaking of
Just a few goggly eyes, just shaking their head.
the
Like those third eyes on bloody Metamorphosis the other week.
Yeah.
That guy, is that what you're
That's what
talking
Maddie
about?
just
we're talking about.
Sorry, I was not paying
Turns
attention.
out Rhys was not paying attention.
I was going to say, like, the Cookie Monster or something, but yeah. From last, yeah.
Speaking of, it's
I
Last week.
just came back in when you said googly eyes. I'm like,
Was
oh
he-
yeah,
was
you
he
know who's
watching
got
TV?
googly eyes.
Speaking of, and it's getting a bit redundant at this point, is Warwick was actually played by the one and only Dion Johnstone.
Oh, he's back again.
Wodan from 2 weeks ago, back again. They've obviously just got like a mold of his head sitting like, you know, in the effects department. And they're just like, what alien can we turn him into this week? And they'll just slap some latex on the mold of his head and go, Oi, Dion, you working this week? Come here.
I thought you were going to say Warwick Davis.
Oh, one of the great Warwicks.
Did everyone like Hammond's little Roland Emmerich little throwback right at the end.
No.
Yeah. That's loud.
Welcome to Earth.
Oh, one of the great lines.
Oh,
Nice.
Independence
Yeah,
Day.
that was
Yeah.
pretty good.
Welcome to Earth.
Prince.
Though my favourite line, and I realised when we were talking about it a little while ago, in the probably a couple of seasons ago now, the way like we say certain words because of we've heard them on this show, like indeed. And Mitch, you've got another one as well. What was the other one you do?
Extremely.
Extremely, yeah.
Yes.
This is one I find myself doing sometimes.
Hello.
Hello.
Hilarious.
Hello.
Is that where you get it from?
I think
Hello.
Jack does that all the time.
Yeah, I
He
feel
does
like
that in the Hall of Thor's Might. Oh no, what? In one of those when he's talking to Thor or whatever.
Could be Red Sky. Yeah. Hello. Hello.
I think that's where Carter's got it from.
Hello. Yeah, she's just trying to get a bit of fun stuff in. So
Yeah.
she's like, I'll try and use it.
I think Lincoln, whenever we talk to each other on the phone, it must have started out like he'd ring it and it'd be like, oh, g'day, mate. And they'd be like, oh, g'day, buddy. And now it's transformed into, I want to say it's from Toy Story. And it's like, hey, buddy.
Yes.
Is there a Toy Story?
No, I was just saying I do the same thing with Link. I was like, hey, buddy.
Yeah, we'll get on the
Isn't
phone.
that Eddie Murphy or something?
I'll leave him a voicemail and say, hey, buddy.
I actually don't know. I just figured it was from a kid's movie because it sounds like I don't know. But we get on and say, hey, buddy. And then we start talking like adults. Well, we don't talk like
buddy.
adults. We start swearing like adults. And we talk in our normal, semi-deep voices.
I would say you start
Broncos
swearing like
again.
10-year-olds, but
Mate, Link doesn't talk about the Broncos. Don't
Doesn't
be
he?
silly.
Good man.
My biceps are sore, Mitch.
Yeah, it sounds more like Link.
My biceps are sore.
He's got big biceps, guys. Just for the listeners playing at home.
It's not the only thing that's big about him, mate.
No, what else? His glutes.
Personality.
Actually, side note, I have
Big
to tell you
personality.
guys.
Massive. One of the thickest personalities. You could hardly get your mouth around.
Side note. Hey, so I found out some really disturbing information about Corin Nemec.
Oh, give it to me.
Have a listen to this.
Oh, no.
Corin, or Corky, as he's known to his mum, this is
Mum.
Corky, Nemec's mum, sent up 2 or 3 boxes of Krispy Kreme to Joe
2 or
Malazzi.
3? What are you talking about? 10 boxes.
She sent them up to Joe Malazzi. Joe Malazzi and Corky's mum met at the San Diego Comic-Con, and they talked, and Joe, who is a connoisseur of anything edible and expensive, he talked about his love for Krispy Kreme donuts, and when they got back, 2 full, huge boxes of Krispy Kremes arrived from Corky's mum.
Is
Corky.
I thought you were going to say Joe and her got
Is Joe Malazzi Corin Nemec's stepdad now?
I am your father.
Could be.
Corin Malazzi.
Corin Malazzi.
He filled a couple of donut holes, if you know what I mean.
Oh,
Hey,
Jesus.
hey.
Corin listens, mate.
Yeah.
Corky.
Corky listens.
Corky.
Corky
Maybe saying
Nemec.
that.
Cookie Romano.
Yeah.
Who was
Extra
that? Who was the voice
glaze,
there?
please.
That was Damien Kindler telling that story.
Is he American? Where was he from? Because
He's Canadian.
Canadian.
Canadian. Okay, just the way he said it's his mum.
Mum.
It sounded more Australian than it did mom.
Yeah,
you know,
because
so-
you'll hear like Amanda Tapping and a few of the other Canadians on the show, they say bum as well. They go bum instead of you
Yeah,
know,
right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Mike Myers says that.
yeah,
He's
Bum.
Canadian.
yeah.
Yeah, big time. Austin Powers. That was for Maddie. Oh, I was just going to say, Warwick said that they've been there for 1,000 years on the Corso's planet. What was it?
Hebridan.
Hebridan. That's right. It's like the island of Scotland, apparently. But I would have thought 1,000 years. Wouldn't there been some crossbreeding? I know we'll probably touch on that
tune in
later,
next
but
season and
On
find
an
out.
island.
I'm just kind of
Tune in next season and find out, mate. And just to check off the list, just in case it ends up in your Has Rhys been paying attention, Rhys, the aliens were the Sarakan.
Yeah.
Just in case Brendan puts that in a question for
Is
me.
that in there?
Well, I can't remember, mate. Don't ask me that.
Moroccan.
Hey, so I guess Warwick was really happy to get off this world.
He should have been. 3 years. It's time to find out.
Actually, that's not a good one. Let me just check and make sure they don't all say Forsaken. No, they don't. Okay, good. Almost none of them do. Okay, so we're going to find out what this episode was called in other languages. First, we go to the French. Oh, ho, ho.
Bonjour.
Bon-
Baguette.
Oh, I was waiting for Rhys to do that. He leaned into the microphone.
Fries.
Fries.
Pommes frites.
Yeah. Snails.
Frogs,
garlic on
frogs'
it.
legs, not the rest of them.
Onion soup.
You wanted us to get involved, mate?
Baguette.
Yeah,
Baguette.
Is French onion soup just called onion soup in France?
No, it's not. I had
It's like
in France.
And I hate onion. I hate onion so much.
Me
and we
too.
went to a place just to get French onion soup
At
in
least-
France. So I was
oh.
like, okay, I just ate like the thick layer of bread or whatever that was on the
Cheese,
top.
bro.
Oh, cheese, whatever the hell it
It
was.
was
man.
cheese.
I
It's
don't
like
know
an inch of cheese on that.
Yeah.
That's what I thought it was bread. I'm like, cheese isn't this thick.
Oh, it's good French toast.
Then, and then once just toast over there. And then once I actually got through all the cheese, I'm like, yeah, I'm not drinking that. That tastes
fucking
onion
delicious.
water. Yeah, I think that's why you had mine.
I love
Did
French
I?
onion
Yeah, I'm
dip.
like,
though.
mate, we got to get to the Moulin Rouge. Can you just drink my onion water, please?
And then Josh asked for some
Onion water.
cooked snails. And dug into them too.
Oh, yeah.
There's
I
a
had
guy on
crack.
MasterChef the other week, and the theme ingredient was onion, and all he could say was onion, and he said it like 40,000 times.
Onion.
Drove me nuts.
I would say that. I just tried to say it.
Just then, you went through
Onion.
both. You went from onion to onion
Yeah,
back
because
to onion. Yeah,
once I
you
wasn't
went-
thinking about it, I'm like, onion.
Yeah. Or when people say
UN.
capsicum.
UNG.
I love capsicum.
Yeah.
Oh,
Get M on the end.
round
Capsicum,
the
what?
world, around the...
Oh, yeah, we're going to run out of Daft
Oh,
Punk in a
yeah,
minute.
sorry.
Pumpkin. It's not as bad as pumpkin.
Says the French is rediscover,
A piece of lettuce.
survivors.
People- oh, I didn't get one.
But yeah, it does look like the escapees.
Yeah, that's all guess, yeah. Sorry. We rushed into it. I really wanted to hear what you said. I ruined it.
You hear it back. Don't worry about
Okay,
it.
all right, good. Yeah, there's- next we go to Italy.
Are you always getting hit
don't
by
know.
like
Still don't know what
bananas when you do that?
some-
That's Maddie's vinegar
Yeah.
sound.
Some
Only
weeks
got
some
the
Mario,
down the
some
head
weeks
of
some
his
Luigi.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Abbandonati.
Oh, Abydos.
Yeah, Aberdonians.
No, Forsaken guys.
Not again.
And then we go to the Spanish. Hola. Abandonados.
Abydos.
Aberdonians.
Forsaken again, guys. Now, Czech. Czech is where it gets really interesting.
Wouldn't have thought so.
It's fine. She doesn't listen.
Trosegnisi.
Oh. Husband.
Husband. Trosegnisi. I spend my summers in Italy. The shipwrecked ones.
Oh, yeah. They're good. The old
what?
Czechs. They're
That's kinda cool.
really creative.
Space crash.
And the space crash.
Hit with asteroid.
Prisoners, really prisoners.
And the Hungarian. Some kivetvi.
Oh, God, yeah.
Forsaken.
Come, was it?
Some kivetvi.
Some kid ate me.
Some kid ate me, yeah.
And then finally we finish with the German. Stranded.
Get stranded.
Stranded.
stranded, yeah.
Stranded.
Yeah.
Very good. And that is around the world. God, I can't wait for this season to be over so I can finish that.
Oh, don't let that stop you.
It was fun when it was like a 30-second segment. Now that it blows out to like 3 or 4 minutes, I'm just like, oh, come on.
Next season, I'll contribute something, and I'll just go to other
Yeah,
like
right.
Come on,
other like
Mitch.
specs. That's actually quicker and better than my Gilmore Girls one. I'm not going to finish. It's not going to do better than that.
Yeah.
Next time we hear Rhys saying, I'll do some post. Do something post.
I'll do some pre or post.
some
if you
pre.
want.
Yeah, awesome pre.
Do anything.
Oh, Lordy.
Do you want to read this out, Rhys? No, not really.
Nah.
Okay. It's time for the Get Into Geek. Hairy Mailbag.
Weekly.
Oh,
Eric.
Eric Fusco's got in contact with the show
Hey, it's
via Facebook.
Eddie, you big dong. I don't know why I said that.
Eric,
Oh,
you got a big dong.
Eric, you Look at his picture. I reckon he does a fair size schlong of Eric.
His face
I don't
looks
know why
like
that matters.
His face looks like he's got a long cock.
Just for a second, can I just point out, like, our listenership, I want to get into the real specs to see, because you can actually tell how long people listen for, when they might drop out and things like that. So maybe once we get past the Stargate content, we're actually thinking behind the scenes, what the true meaning of, inspirations and all that sort of stuff. Then beyond that, once we hit like the 35-minute mark, nothing but dick jokes.
Look, I think if people have
It's two entirely different podcasts.
if people have jumped on for 130 episodes, I think they're ready for our
already
dick jokes.
batshit crazy.
So
I'm just.
so Eric
What
Long
did
Dick
Eric have?
Fusco
What did,
says
Does he say anything about having a massive penis?
what did old Big Knob
he doesn't
say?
need to. He doesn't need to say it. You can look at his profile pictures. You'll understand. Look,
Pictures paying 1,000 words or whatever it is.
mate, he has a solid cock.
Look at him. Fucking Eric.
He says, on a number of occasions, they've evacuated people to the Alpha site due to a disaster eventually
Yeah,
was
Eric
averted.
blew on everyone. That was a fucking wild disaster.
Everyone get to the Alpha site. It's happening.
Hurricane.
It's like message in a bottle where they're all covered in the glowy jizz
Yeah.
face stuff.
Hurricane
Just for a second,
Fusco's
though.
out. Look
No,
out.
no, no,
Tsunami's coming, boys.
Not to keep cutting you off, but just imagine for a second, Eric, Eddie, where's he from? Where's we've been
Italy.
told in the book.
Facebook.
Little Italy.
He's from Facebook, the land of Facebook. So Eddie's sitting around with his mates. He's like, have a listen to these blokes who I've never met before, never had a conversation, but for the next 5 minutes they're going to talk about nothing but how big my dick is.
Yeah.
Like, that's the service. That's the service we provide for
This is why people love us.
Because my profile picture obviously gives off big dick energy.
I want to see that be his Twitter profile. Like, he's got that picture, and the profile just says, you know what I've got based on that.
No, Get Into Geek thinks I've got a big knob.
Nose.
I've got a long dick. You can tell by the look on my face. See my profile picture.
Even now, he's like, just keep going, guys. I don't need to hear the rest of it. Don't read my letter. Just keep talking about me. We love you, Eric.
Oh, shit. My mum any day.
Thanks for the comments there, Eric. I have no idea what you said.
Let's move on. No, he says... Eric says, on a number of occasions, they've evacuated people to the Alpha site due to a disaster that was eventually averted by SG-1. Presumably, all the people are returned to their normal lives. The adults are chosen for their professions and abilities and are sworn to secrecy. But what about their kids? Hey, Kyle, you weren't in school last week. Where did you go? Fair question.
Yeah, I reckon I think they leave the kids there. That's part of the deal.
Yeah. There's
As in, like, sorry, your kids have to die,
Yeah.
but you can come with us?
Yep.
yeah.
Leave your families to die a torturous death.
Yeah.
But you're over
There's an episode of
Mate,
I hate to bring it up in front
Don't
of you.
want the act of calligraphy to die. Okay, we need a good handwriter there. Get him on board.
I hate to bring it up in
Kids are
front of
dead.
you guys, but yeah, there's an episode of Madam Secretary that actually addresses it where like they think there's going to be like a nuclear attack from Russia or whatever it is. And there's all the people on the, I forget the name of it, but the such and such list where they get to go to the secret DC bunker to survive the nuclear winter or whatever. And yeah, there's this whole thing about people that are on the list, but their families aren't necessarily on the list.
Right.
So you could be a government official. You could be like the aide to the president. You're on the list, but your family's not.
Yeah. What's the point?
Like when you get invited to the Oscars for an award. If you're one of the low, director, you don't get to bring your wife.
What about my
But
kids?
if you're on-screen talent, absolutely, bring a partner.
Front row. Yeah, bring a no-name just to sit next to you.
Jada Pinkett Smith, bring her along.
Eric Fusco.
Yeah. Eric, bring Eric along. Need heaps of big dicks in the new world.
Hey,
Good genetics, if you know what I'm saying.
so I've been on Twitter again because I'm just a
again.
tweet.
Oh, you're a Twitter slut now.
I reckon we should
Yeah.
have a grab there, Mitch, where it's I'm never getting on Twitter or whatever it was Maddie said in the first couple of seasons.
Yeah, that'd be good. Well, Damo Edwards, friend of the show, Damo Edmonds.
Hey, mate.
OG.
Damo Edwards, I should say, not Edmonds. Got in touch with me via the tweet.
Great mate of the show.
Yeah.
Damien Edmonds.
David Edmonds on Twitter said, only a few eps into my first watch of hashtag Star Trek DS9 and hashtag Star Trek Voyager
See you, Damo.
and bloody loving them. If it wasn't for the boys of Get Into Gate,
It's not us, mate.
that
Don't
includes
blame
all the
us.
boys of Get
Don't
Into
put us in
Gate,
there.
Specifically at High Pitch Maddie, I'd be missing out on some awesome TV. Star Trek would be close to second. Well, sorry, Star Trek would be a close second to my favourite TV franchise. Hashtag Stargate.
Can we just give Damo that's one?
Yeah, I did reply to Damo, and I did
Completely
say...
And this is for you, Damo.
And then give one for Maddie.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. I'll give you two, mate. You brought it up.
Actually, I think,
You know the
I think there
rules.
was one earlier on you missed, so that's fair
Oh,
enough.
so that's 3.
Yeah.
No.
No, come on.
Look, I'm just going by
Still
what
got a
you're
whole-
saying.
We still got a whole nother segment for Maddie to hang shit on us and vice versa. Actually, I got an iTunes review here, guys.
Oh,
One of the great
let's do it.
one of the great listeners, 5 stars, the best Stargate podcast from Starts with a J from the United States.
Nice.
Seriously, one of the best podcasts ever. Doesn't say Stargate podcast, guys. It says best podcast ever.
That's for a reason, yep.
I usually fall behind and then binge a bunch of episodes in a row at work until I catch up. It's a delight to listen to. I especially like all the Star Trek references. Yes!
Oh, that's
And
3.
Hey, starts with a J.
And I got into Gilmore Girls because of one of the hosts.
Wubba lubba dub dub! You're making this up now, aren't you?
No, he kept
Really?
talking about it and finally wore me down so much that I told my girlfriend, and he goes on about Gilmore Girls for a fair bit there.
Can you send me that? Can
Look,
you just send me
it's
that,
not
please?
worth a read. The
Maddie's going to frame that and put it in his geek room.
Starts with
like
a J.
he goes on about Gilmore Girls for a while.
Please-
We're going to run out of time.
Please send me that so I
I'll
can
send
read
that.
it in
I'll
my own
send that
time.
through to you so you can jump on and starts with a J.
I'll whack off over
you
that in
guys
my
can
own time.
DM each other.
Yeah.
Oh, where was I? Right. Reviewing a Stargate podcast about Stargate and not Gilmore Girls. Get Into Gate is one of the few podcasts about Stargate that is still around and actually worth listening to. They have great chemistry and almost seem like brothers, giving each other a hard time, but all in good humour. Pretty sure
Almost.
one of them actually are brothers, but I feel
Well,
like they
and-
could all be brothers. So we
Yeah,
are
good-
like
Well,
brothers.
we all either share a brother or a last name in the room.
Yeah, so it's very incestual,
Same.
like Maddie's favourite
Yep.
topic.
But there's only one of us that likes Gossip Girl.
Yeah,
Yeah, Mitch, how
Gossip
you
Girl.
going with that?
Yep.
It starts with a J. You just got me 97 out of 28 hards. Is that how that joke
I don't think
works?
that's how.
It's not divisible, yeah.
You almost look
Jump
like
onto
fucking Eddie
conversion.com and have a look.
Cool.
Thanks, starts with a J.
Adds to ratings.
That's brilliant.
Starts with the J. Thank
Well
you.
done.
John Combs sent us a message in relation to our Paradise
Combsy.
Lost podcast
The big
a few
brush.
weeks ago.
JC.
The big brush dog.
Not much we can tell of his profile pic other than he is a German Shepherd.
He's a cute little puppy.
He is pretty. I do want to
super cute.
scratch his head. He said, "Pretty sure Carter said the moon wasn't visible, not that it was invisible."
Yeah,
Which is
Yeah.
a
Top drawer,
big
Johnny.
topic of discussion
Yeah.
during that podcast about the confusion there. That said, a sanctuary on a habitable moon doesn't make much sense if any ship that approaches the planet can also check out the moon, so maybe there was some kind of shielding or cloaking tech in the use around the village itself to hide it from the sensors. A lot could have been explained if at some point in Jack's explorations he found some weird alien technology and pulled the power crystals out.
Well done.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
good
say
call. Yeah.
that German Shepherd needs to go back in time and get a job writing for Stargate.
That's the thing.
He's-
As we say,
He's a very good boy.
that's explaining bad writing. So
Look,
yeah,
I was
thanks, John.
thinking about this the other day, and I thought, what would explain it is if that is if that was actually a prison, and they've sent out invitations to criminals to say, hey,
There's a
this
trap.
this high tech key will get you into
That's a
paradise,
Yeah, and you have to steal the key. Like you have to commit the crime to steal the key.
and then
Go there and put you in the prison.
and
That's
then they've
entrapment,
gone,
guys.
and then they can't get out, and it's just this little
Yeah.
shit village.
And then they just give you a bunch of arugula to eat.
yeah.
But then why would a guy? Well, a guy would
He would go there.
go there. Yeah,
Totally fall for it.
absolutely. Had the plant on
That's
him when
brilliant.
he
But yeah,
I don't
when,
think people care about that stuff.
was. Me and John Combs are going to go back in time. And
Yeah,
be
when
writers.
we did get that message, I actually went back and watched that part of the episode, and he's dead on. If you listen really carefully, Carter says it isn't visible, not that it's invisible. So I
yeah,
think that's
because that
where
was.
I
think we were like,
Yeah.
it was invisible or it wasn't visible.
Yeah,
that's why we.
which I think
got
is
mixed up.
just some poor writing there, because I think Carter
is.
Carter in particular I think would be much more specific, and she would say, "Oh, it was at a different point in its orbit." She wouldn't say it's not visible. She would say it's in a different point in its
Yeah.
orbit or something like that. So yeah, it wasn't a good Carterism. So
Yeah.
well caught, very well done.
Speaking of Paradise Lost,
Oh yeah.
Now, we were talking about in the synopsis, I think, caches,
Yeah, come up twice.
caches. Maria Vulcanus.
Volko.
Oh, hang on, you've said Vulcan there.
Wow, see,
Everyone's a culprit this
I was
episode.
going to go to Volcano, but even you went straight to the Star Trek reference. Wow.
I didn't say anything. I'm just punishing those that do.
FYI,
Dare you have that last name?
FYI, us Americans are definitely weird, but cache and cachet are two different words. Blame the French.
Yeah.
We do, and we
Yeah,
will.
big time. We do, mate.
And I've actually gone on to FrenchConversion.com. And so the cache is actually the correct pronunciation of it.
Yeah, cash as in stash. So
A
if you
cache
think
or
about a
stash,
cache
cache
of
or
weapons
stash.
is a stash of weapons.
Or you got some cash in your drawer.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, bit of treasure.
Hidden. It's a hidden storage place for valuables, provisions, or ammunition.
One man's trash is another man's cash.
The other one is cachet, which is the state of being respected or admired.
Yeah.
Prestige, if you will.
Yeah.
Or distinguishing
so I
mark
think
or
it's-
seal.
I think it's definitely one of those things where we've obviously picked that up in movies and stuff like that, where someone has mispronounced it, meaning to say cache, but they've said cachet, and I've always thought the two was just the different pronunciations of the same word. 'Cause
Me too.
I've never heard someone refer to cachet as in a form of respect or anything like that.
No.
It's always been a cachet of weapons, a cachet of drugs, all that kind of stuff.
Because cache is C-A-C-H-E.
Yeah, so
And
cache.
cachet is C-A-C-H-E-T. So I always thought that cachet was just E with the little apostrophe on top of it.
Yeah, I never
Whatever you
knew
wanna
that there was
call
a
that
spelling
thing.
with a T on the end.
Well, there you go.
Well, that's
You've
our
taught
one-
us something.
That's our one. I always say I
Tortoise.
like to learn one new thing a day. That's my thing for today.
Thanks, Maria Vulcanus.
Volky.
It's time to find out if Rhys has been paying attention.
All right, 5 questions for Rhys-topher. A bit of trivia for the newbie.
Oh, thanks, guys.
We've got 30 seconds on the clock for you, Rhys. You ready to roll, buddy?
Never.
All right. The time will start after this question. In the episode Forsaken, what was the name of the prisoner transport ship?
There was the Cerberus.
I'll give you that. What race was the alien Captain Warwick?
Sarakin.
Correct. Why did they crash on the planet?
Asteroid.
Correct. How long were they stranded for?
Oh, 3 years.
Correct. O'Neill found a photograph of a woman. What was her name?
Athea.
Yeah, baby.
Boom, baby.
Oh, yeah.
5 out of 5.
Wow.
Oh,
That was pretty big too.
Jesus.
They're all. You would have had to have paid attention there.
Wow.
I have to say, I wouldn't have even got that last one. No way would I have gotten that last one.
Yeah.
Well done.
I forgot that it was even revealed, to be totally honest. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, you just asked him. It's like that's
A random question.
That's the crewman's wife.
It
he's
was.
like,
It was Andy McKenna's wife. It was the director's wife.
There you go.
Was it?
Yep.
Rhys, I don't want you to go.
Thank you, mate. Glad you're gone.
Yeah, I wonder if we
Want to
need
be a
a.
friend?
Maybe we need a.
We need something
a Jonas,
that Jonas
a
says.
Jonas
yeah,
reward.
that'll keep me happy.
Yeah, we need a
Yes,
Jonas
not
audio.
bad. Okay.
Or Tilk, anything Tilk says.
You go and find something, Reese, and we'll pop it in for you.
Yeah, whatever gets you 9 hards.
Oh, look, I'm busy.
That won't happen.
Oh, you don't.
That's it,
I'm
mate.
waiting for you to correct all my questions, but you don't need to.
No, you got them all.
5 out of 5.
I know.
We're on.
Boom.
All right. That is a very happy end to episode
That means
100.
I've made you a bit of a Pavlov's dog there, mate.
Pavlova?
Yeah. Pavlov's dog?
No idea what you're saying.
Oh, okay.
Pavlov's
It's a lot
bell.
like, what's his name, Schrodinger's cat?
Oh, I wouldn't have thought so.
No, it's Pavlov's dog, isn't it? Schrodinger's cat.
Yeah, okay.
Everyone
so,
got to have
so
a pet.
yeah,
all
a
mates.
person's name and an animal, that's about as close together as they get. But yep.
Yes, that's my point.
Eric Stong.
Hey, don't be one of
What's
the
up?
Forsaken. Jump on our Patreon, guys.
Yeah, don't be left in the dark. I mean, we're fans of everyone still in the dark, as far as that metaphor goes. But
Sure.
Yes.
come into the light. Don't be forsaken. Absolutely. Jump
Not
into
me.
patreon.com
Great call.
/ Get Into Gate. Join in the fun. Or just join in the more crudeness.
Yeah.
This episode
Yeah.
is the safe stuff. That's all. That doesn't sell. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, if-
that's dangerous.
Let's just put it this way: the Gibson podcasts are even looser than what just happened. or whatever you actually heard in the edit.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Most of that'll
nothing.
get. Hopefully, most of that'll get in the dong stuff.
that'll all get in.
Eddie Eric is hoping
Yeah.
that most of
Yeah,
that.
that'll all get in.
He's just picked up 4 dates because of that.
It's the stuff that won't get in.
Yeah, that's fine. Although we didn't do it. 7.7 on IMDb. 7.7 stars.
There you
This
go.
one, yeah,
Not bad.
Out of how many?
10. Usually 10.
That's episode 129 of Get Into Gate. We will be back next week to talk about The Changeling.
Oh shit!
Oh, this is a biggie.
So what, 3 weeks after Metamorphosis, we have The Changeling.
Oh, this is a biggie. This is
Change-
Yeah.
Jonas Superpowers 2.0, guys.
Oh, more Jonas Rhys.
Love Jonas.
Chris Judge wrote this one, mate.
Did he?
Yeah, Chris
Yep.
Judge wrote The Changeling.
Oh, yeah, give it to me.
It's a goodie.
Chris Judge written
Hot
episode
car.
about Jonas.
Yeah, directed
somewhat.
by Martin Wood. I mean, that's got all the makings
Rhys Wood.
for...
You know, look at him.
For
He's
gold.
excited already. He's got
Yeah.
7 days he has to wait before he can watch this.
absolutely.
Although, chatting with Link the other day, not a fan of it, apparently.
Well, he's not here, is he?
For a reason.
It's all right. The first watch, I think, gets a bit old. You can't rewatch that one. For me,
Well, let's
just
chat
for
about,
me, mate.
So
chat
that
about
makes
it next week, guys.
Lincoln's watched
Let's
all
move
of
on
them about
before any spoilers
40.
are dropped.
Yeah.
We know it's coming.
Jonas dies!
Yoo-hoo! Yeah! In the meantime, you can check out all of our old podcasts on your favourite podcasting outlet. Just search Get Into Gate, a Stargate podcast. Do the same on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Like, subscribe, join in the fun of the show, and just talk to us about Gate. We're always there. Always. We're lonely and we need friends. Otherwise, getintogate at gmail.com. All the boys said, patreon.com/getintogate. Some exclusive extras there for our patrons who do support the show and help us keep moving along. We do
We
thank you
released
for
a
it.
single for Maddie on Patreon.
I'll be watching you.
Oh, good song.
Because you were about the whole
Christmas
thing.
poo.
Mitch_Lewis is where you can find me on Twitter and Instagram. Maddie, where you
At
at?
High Pitch Maddie.
Brendan.
At the Bren Gibson.
And Rhys.
That's the Flying Gibson. Don't forget to put your tax returns in, guys.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
true.
good call.
Or just be like the rest of us and do it in like a year or two.
Oh, you've got
When the
Like the rest of us.
when the
You've
tax
got
when
3
the tax
months.
department calls you up and go, we're going to fine you. It's like, okay, I guess I'll do it. Scribble a few notes down. Oh, I've got to pay you more money.
Actually, yeah, I did get an audit about 4 years after a tax return.
Love
Chat.
the government. Sponsor the show
Tax
with
chat.
all the tax money we
Yeah.
give you. Give some back, eh?
Tax
Do
chat
us a
with Get
favour,
Into Gate.
ScoMo. All right, catch you next week. Changeling.
Get into geek.